the man from the U himself, Michael Irvin, calling into the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Irv?
Rich, I'm doing well, buddy. Hearing about all of the combine, did I not just leave you after the Super Bowl? Did we not just leave? And we were saying it's the off season. There is no off season in the NFL.
No, there's not. That's why we call it the non-playing season, Michael. That's the way. There's no off season, and it comes around so quick. And then March 9th is when the new league year begins, and that's when free agency hits, and soon enough, you and I are going to blink, and we'll be talking about the first round of the draft in Chicago. On the last Thursday in April. I mean, that's the way it's going to go.
I know, in Chicago too. That's something to hear. That, not New York. That is something.
We were just talking about that earlier too, Michael. And there's enough time to talk about it. Might as well just bring it up now. Is that there's rumors that the Jets might make a blockbuster trade to move even further up to get the quarterback that they want in the draft. And I mentioned how, should that happen, there might just be a small buzz in the arena as opposed to the usual eruption because the fans the teams that are the fans on the clock. That are going to get the most buzz are the Bears and the Packers and the Vikings and the Browns and the Colts because of where the draft's going to be held this year, if you think about it.
Yep, and I know. And it was always interesting in New York, Rich, because how the night before the draft, everybody's at Radio City and they're all wrapped around the building. They're sleeping there trying to get into the Radio City, and we go out and sign autographs and hang out with those guys. So I'm wondering how that will work out this year.
Oh, I thought you were going Rayo's restaurant on me, Irv. I thought that's what you were going about, the way we normally do the
I ran into those guys, man. And I don't know what we're going to do about that, Rich. We got to figure that out.
I know. You're the only Cowboy that they actually are very happy to welcome in there, Irv. That's how popular you are, because they were usually a Giants facility in that spot. So coming into this combine, what was your combine experience like back in the day, Michael?
Well, and I didn't get a chance to go to the combine, Rich, because I came out after my junior year. But I tell you, I love going to the combine and watching these young guys perform. And I get so much out of watching them on the practice field and seeing what guys really love the game over others.
It's interesting. So you said basically because you came out of your junior year, there was no combine. Could you imagine if that was the case this year? There'd be no combine. There would be no combine. If you think about it, Irv. I think we lost him. Call him back. Call him back, Law. Think about that. The number of kids who are underclassmen coming to the combine. Think about that. Michael Irvin just said that he didn't have a scouting combine experience because he came out of the U after his junior year. Last year, the underclassmen invited to the scouting combine, an all-time high of 85. This year, there are 64 underclassmen invited to the combine, which is 2 fewer than 2 years ago. So the last 3 years, over 60 underclassmen have been invited to the combine.
And I wonder how many of those will be first, second, third round picks.
Great question. I don't know the answer to that question. We do have NFL Network researchers, Drew Christensen and Bill Smith here, just chilling out in the green room. Maybe we should put them to work. Did I just out you guys but just your off day? You're cool with it, right? They're cool. Okay, just want to make sure. You're not like playing hooky on the NFL media group before we're all going to Indianapolis. That'd be bad. Michael Irvin joining me now. So you basically said that you couldn't participate because you were an underclassman back in the day at the combine?
Yeah. I came out after my junior season, after my junior year eligibility. So I didn't get a chance to compete at the combine because I came out early. But I tell you, man, and so each year we go back, Rich, it's one of the best times of the year for me because of that, because I didn't get a chance to see it. And I get to go on that field, man, and each year I'm thinking, wow, what an opportunity this is. Because, you're competing against the guys there to get drafted. You're going to be competing against these same guys in the NFL. It's just a great thing, I think. If you're a competitor and a football player, I don't think there's a better atmosphere out there. And like last year, I watched a guy like Jarvis Landry pull his hamstring, and everybody was telling him, that's it, son. Don't worry about it. You can't go. And he didn't want to hear that. He was like, no, I want to keep going. I tried to come and talk to him, as a legend, as the Hall of Famer. He didn't want to hear from me. I love watching that much watching guys that like to compete like that.
Well, I love that you use the word compete, Michael, because it's more than just the 40. It's those on-field drills and high-pointing a catch and or running the proper route, which is what these guys are looking for in the stands. How many kids do you think, though, view it as a competition?
Oh, I think all the ones, Rich, that are going to be successful in this NFL view everything as a competition. And because you're on the field with the guys that you've been looking at, coming out my year was Chris Carter, it was Tim Brown, we had Sterling Sharp. I remember playing in Miami and watching Tim in Notre Dame and Sterling at South Carolina and Chris at Ohio State. So, and each Saturday competing against them anyway. So those guys, they've watched guys that's in their class and that they're going to compete against at the combine. They've watched them all year, and now you get to get on the same field with them. It's just an incredible opportunity. I'm amazed at the number of people that watches the combine. I think that's amazing, man. Anything the NFL puts out, people consume. They just love the game like that.
So which one of these young kids leaps out at you? Is it Amari Cooper? We've got Kevin White, who is Mike Mayock's top wide receiver. Which one of these kids intrigues you, Michael?
Yeah, and quite a few of them intrigue me now. And I've reached out to reach out and talk to some people for Amari Cooper already, and I'm looking forward to actually meeting him and seeing guys like that. But Kevin White also, we got a couple. We got 2 6'6", 6'5" guys in here that I want to see because this league is going towards those big guys. Those big guys that can go up and make plays. So there's so much going on, and I can't wait to get out there. I want to see if guys who get in and out of cuts. In and out of cuts. Because sometimes you're in a spread offense, and those spread offenses, Rich, they don't really teach you how to run routes. Sometimes they just teach you how to run to a spot. So I want to see which guys have gone a little farther and learn how to run routes coming out of a spread offense and stuff like that.
There's also, Amari Cooper, some video of him doing pull-ups, and then when he's at the top of his pull-up, he claps his hands above his head, Michael. I've never seen anything quite like it. It just, each and every year, these kids get bigger and stronger and occasionally faster. I don't know what to make of it when you think about it.
It is something, and it's scary from that standpoint. Because you're right, Rich. It used to be you get a big guy and then you go get a fast guy, and now the big guy is the fast guy. And it is incredible when you watch the talent. Or you watch a guy like, what up Beckham, and the way he's catching footballs coming out last year. We're seeing phenomenal, gifted players come into this league.
Well, Mike Mayock believes there's a handful of kids that could break Chris Johnson's 4.24, including Phillip Dorsett of St. Thomas Aquinas fame as well. Do you think this kid has a chance to snap CJ2K's record?
Man, I love Dorsett, man. That's my guy, man. And I watched him play at St. Thomas. Of course, watched him at University of Miami, and certainly he has followed. That's my path. That's exactly my path. So I keep a good eye on him. And this boy can run, man. I'm gonna tell you, he's going to be such a vertical threat in the NFL that people will it will shock people. And he didn't get a chance to have the season he wanted last year because he had this. He only caught 36 passes. He got the young quarterback Kayak in there now, and then last year before they had Stephen Morris, who was hobbled. But I'm telling you, watch this guy here. I guarantee you, I think he'll be a sleeper in this draft. Whoever gets him will have that vertical stretch that they're looking for.
What was the fastest 40 you ran, Michael, back in the day?
The fastest I've ever run was like a 4.46, something like that. It took everything. I used to wear coming into working my workouts and everything, getting ready for the draft. I would wear a stop clock around my neck. And where I trained, I'm straight from the ghetto of the ghettos. So where I trained was I went and found this BMW place, and it had a little stretch of about 60 yards. I would run the 40 there because I had the clock around my neck and the BMW I wanted. I wanted to keep my focus on it, and I got to my 4. I said, if I can run a 4.46, I could ride around in that car, and I did run that 4.4.
So wearing a clock around your neck, is that why you were so excited that one Super Bowl to see Flavor Flav in the audience?
Yeah, I stole that for Flav. Absolutely. When we,
you remember that? We're standing there.
We had a time with Flav, didn't we?
I'll never forget, you and I are standing on our set in the end zone at Lucas Oil, of all places, where we're going to be this weekend, watching the Giants move downfield. Ahmad Bradshaw went butt first into the end zone in that Super Bowl. And as that's happening, you scream at me, there's Flavor Flav, and we look down 5 rows in front, and there he was with a clock around his neck. That happened.
With a clock around his neck. I know. It was funny stuff, man. Flav spotted up, just sitting in the stands having a good time. It was interesting to see that.
I remember. So did you ever get that BMW, Irv? Did you ever get it?
Rich, it was the first car I got, Rich. The BMW M3, Rich. It was the first car I got. It was a black man's wagon. That's what we used to call it. You know?
That's the BMW. You are one of a kind, Michael. Thanks for calling in, and I appreciate you've seen how I handled this year. You were with me Thursdays. On Sundays. You saw I was eating right all year long, Michael. You saw I've been waiting for this moment, this running moment. It's coming up for me this weekend. You saw I've been handling it all year. I've been focused.
Yeah, Rich, you're getting ready for it, huh? It's going to be fun. That'll be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Rich. What's your best time, Rich? And what do you think you're going to run this time?
Last year it was 5.98. I'm just shooting for better than that. But if I run sub 5.8, that means since turning 40, my average time would be sub 6. So I'm shooting high. I'm aiming high, Mike.
Aim high, Rich. Aim high and go and get it. But I believe in you. Remember, you did a great job throwing the ball this year.
That's
You're
right.
Really coming around.
Thank
You're
you.
really developing into somebody. You may be ready to get on the field.
Attaboy. Thanks for calling in, Michael. I appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
All right, buddy.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.